You're watching Mototherapy 2025, and I'm Dr. Mark. I have a background in clinical psychology and neuropsychology, and this channel is focused on the therapeutic benefits of riding motorcycles. So let's get on the road and talk about it. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to get into the UCLA motorcycle study, as it's called. And the study has a rather daunting title, as you can see in the video here, which is Modulation of Attention and Stress with Arousal, the Mental and Physical Effects of Riding a Motorcycle. Now, in the title, there's almost the implication that somehow motorcycles are causing a modulation of attention and stress with arousal. That is essentially in the title itself. I've talked in multiple videos now how I believe that optic flow is really the true reason why riding motorcycles is causing so much stress reduction. The idea that optic flow is the key source of the stress reduction experience from riding motorcycles is a theory that I have postulated, and it's not necessarily what the authors of the UCLA motorcycle study believe. So I think we need to separate those out so it's clear that my position and their position are not exactly the same. But the UCLA motorcycle study yields some really key evidence that motorcycles are incredibly good for you. So this study was funded by Harley-Davidson, and it was conducted by researchers from UCLA's Smell Institute of Neuroscience and Behavior, and it aimed to scientifically validate mental and physical benefits that motorcycle riders often report. The research involved over 50 experienced motorcyclists who participated in a series of tests that were measuring their biological, physiological responses while riding a motorcycle compared to driving cars or resting. Now, there are four key findings from this research. And the first one is that there's dramatic stress reduction from those who ride motorcycles. The study found that riding a motorcycle led to a 28% decrease in cortisol levels for the riders. And cortisol is a hormone associated with stress. So having a lab value where their cortisol levels have gone down by 28% is really huge. Now, there are studies that look at things like meditation, mindfulness practice, and yoga that have found similar effects. So you could say that this hormone reduction of cortisol is comparable to what we see with experienced meditators or yoga practitioners. And I think that's a fair point. I do think it's interesting, and I don't think that standard meditator or yoga practitioner would expect that one of the physiologic biomarkers of stress reduction that you can get from yoga or meditation is actually equivalent if you just ride a motorcycle, which seems easier in some ways once you learn how to ride a motorcycle, and in my personal experience, a lot more fun. And so I don't think the general public is aware of this. The second finding was there was increased focus and attention. Participants experienced heightened sensory focus and resilience to distractions while riding a motorcycle. This was measured through brain activity and hormonal levels, indicating that motorcycling can enhance mental clarity. Now, on a personal level, it takes more focus to ride a motorcycle and not fall down or crash or do something dangerous. So it requires focus. So it's not surprising that one of the key findings is it actually results in increased focus and attention. The third major finding was that there were physiological responses that were measurable. Riding motorcycles increased a participant's heart rate by 11% compared to resting, and 7% above what you would get from driving. Additionally, adrenaline levels rose by 27% during motorcycle rides. Now, this can be achieved by exercise, so there are definitely ways to just increase your adrenaline levels through exercise. But you wouldn't necessarily think that you could get this kind of effect with a motorcycle. And the next and fourth category is the researchers used mobile EEG technology to monitor brain activity and hormonal levels And what they found was reduced stress after rides. To sum this up, the UCLA study published in 2021 in the Journal of Brain Research is really the best research study ever designed that we've ever seen published. So to sum this up, the UCLA study published in the Journal of Brain Research in 2021 is really the best study we've ever seen on the health benefits of riding motorcycles. And it would be wonderful to see some more studies that validate these findings or go beyond them, because this is really the strongest evidence we have that motorcycle riding is incredibly good for your health, especially your brain health, which is a very interesting finding and not one that you would necessarily expect. Okay, well, that's all I have for this video.